Let's talk NFL.
Yeah.
And we can do that with Henry Hodgson, who is the NFL UK General Manager. Hey, Henry.
Hello, Henry.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah, really good. Thanks for coming on. And the announcement of all these games all over the world, including 3 in London.
Yeah, very exciting. Just announced this afternoon the games that will be taking place, as you say, across the globe. Some first times in there. First time the NFL play in Australia and Paris. But most importantly, I guess for us, 3 really good games coming to London this October.
Yeah, I mean, although a game at the MCG will be pretty sensational, won't it?
Yeah, it will be amazing. It really will. That's a great venue, and it probably speaks to the fact that we're lucky enough to be playing in great venues all over the world. These are some of the most iconic stadiums around the world, and the MCG adding that to the list is really exciting.
One thing I've always wondered, and is it right that the NFL sort of added a game in the season so that home fans don't feel shortchanged by the fact that, you know, you look at your fixture list and, you know, if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan or whatever, suddenly one of your games is in Paris and you're like, well, that isn't, I've got a season ticket. What's happening there? But they kind of added a fixture. Is that right?
I would say maybe it's not the reason, but it's certainly an outcome from it. So the NFL currently plays 17 games a year. So, you know, there's always a lopsided between a home and an away games. And in the years where the team has one more home game than away game, those teams are eligible. So half the league is eligible to have a home game that is then played overseas.
Hugely popular. Since it's been at Wembley and at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, you know, you can't get a ticket for love nor money, and that's only going to grow. I'm assuming, especially since it's Aden Durde, isn't it, who's the British coach, won the Super Bowl as a coordinator. If he can become head coach somewhere, then sky's the limit, I'd have thought.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think there are some amazing stories, and Aden's story as the Seahawks defensive coordinator this year, winning the Super Bowl is one of them. There are, you know, now more and more British players in the league. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had a British player drafted who was part of our NFL Academy program and is now going to be on the Miami Dolphins team. So I think there's more evidence of like the pathways that you can take, not just to watch the game either on TV or in the stadium, but actually to play at the very highest levels. And I think that's part of what we're trying to do is show that the NFL is, you know, we've been playing games here for 19 years, but there are other ways that you can get involved beyond being a fan, and hopefully that will drive more interest and more excitement about the sport.
Has Mexico City ever hosted a game before? Do you know? Because that seems like a no-brainer in many ways. I'm surprised there's no Mexico franchise in some ways.
Yeah, well, there's still currently, you know, all 32 teams are based in the US. Mexico has hosted games before. It's been a few years because Estadio Azteca has been upgraded in preparation, obviously, for the World Cup that's coming up this year. But yeah, really excited to be back there as well. Like Mexico's in general has an awful lot of NFL fans, inevitably because of the proximity to the US and the ease of watching the games there. And, you know, their fans are going to be really excited about the game that's coming there this year as well.
I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, and they are the only team that remains terrible throughout all the draft picks. I quite like that. They just can never be good. But one day I woke up and they'd moved to Baltimore, and I didn't really quite understand why. And you know, there's now a team back in Cleveland, which is great. Is the direction of travel that you said all the sides are, you know, US at the moment? Could you see a time when there is a London team in the NFL, for example?
It's certainly been talked about. I think in order for that to happen, there'd need to be expansion of, you know, more teams. There's currently 32 teams in the NFL, so it would require there to be more teams. And I think, you know, when it's been talked about with the context of then adding a few more teams in Europe so that those teams can play each other. I think we're a long way off that. Quite honestly, I think at the moment the NFL is really focused on expanding the number of places we play games, hence the conversation we just had about Australia and Mexico and Paris, etc. So I think, you know, in the event that the NFL is looking at global expansion, it's more about how do we play in more places. And you look at sort of Formula One as an example of, you know, every week there's a race in a different country around the world. I think we're headed that way more likely than we're headed to permanent teams playing a full set of fixtures
a world franchise. Yeah. I suppose it's
and is it just like the teams are just that you're told you're going to Mexico, you're going to London, or do they kind of say we'd like to play a game here?
It's probably somewhere in between. The teams have the opportunity to choose countries that they're interested in investing in. That's part of what we call the global markets program. So they can say, we think that we've got a really good opportunity to grow our fan base in the UK. So there are currently 12 teams that have selected the UK and Ireland as those. So where we can, we're trying to match teams with the countries that they're in, but it's not always as easy as that.
Good stuff. Look, thanks for coming on, Henry. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Great to chat to you guys. Thank you for having me.
Henry Hodgson there, NFL UK General Manager. So, yeah, the London games. I've got them here. So, yeah, Melbourne, Rio, London, Paris, Madrid, Munich, Mexico City. And,
that's good for you, Max. That's everywhere you've got a flat.
Yeah, it is everywhere. Yeah, absolutely right. 4th of October at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Indianapolis Colts playing the Washington Commanders. On the 11th of October, Philadelphia Eagles take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then the Jaguars head to Wembley to play the Houston Texans on Sunday, the 18th of October.